there, it's me, Allie from bakingamoment.com. The school year is getting started, and that can only mean one thing: cookies. Specifically, I am talking about no-bake cookies because it's still pretty hot out and I'm not quite ready to turn my oven on just yet. These cookies are hearty and satisfying. They're full of chocolate and peanut butter flavor with lots of chewy oats. They're the perfect treat to welcome your kiddos home from school with. They're super quick to make with just a handful of pantry staples, but they can be a little fussy at times. I've made this recipe over and over again, trying to get the perfect result. I've had some failures, which I've learned from, and I've had some success as well. So I'm here today to give you all my best tips and tricks on how to get the perfect no-bake cookies. Ideally, your no-bake cookies should be soft. They should have almost a creamy texture and a slight velvety sheen. They're more of a confection than they are a cookie. In fact, they're pretty similar to fudge. Because this recipe comes together so quickly, it's really important that you have all your ingredients gathered together ahead of time and pre-measured. You want to be ready when it's time for the next step. It all starts with sugar. Put your sugar in a medium-sized pot and add milk, whatever kind you keep in your fridge, unsalted butter, cocoa powder. This is unsweetened cocoa powder. It doesn't really matter if you use Dutch or natural cocoa powder. I prefer natural, but either one will work. Just a little bit of corn syrup. The corn syrup is optional. It's used a lot in candy making just to prevent the sugar from crystallizing. If the sugar crystallizes, your cookies could have a funny texture. It doesn't matter if you use light corn syrup or dark corn syrup. Either one will work just as well. And place this over low heat just until the butter is melted. Once the butter is melted, give it a really good whisk to get it smooth, and you're gonna let it cook slowly until all the sugar is dissolved. You'll know that the sugar has dissolved when you place a little drop on your fingertip and then rub it against your thumb. If it's not fully dissolved, it might feel a little grainy or gritty, so give it a few more minutes. If it is dissolved, then it'll feel silky smooth. Once the sugar is melted in, you're gonna raise the temperature, bring the mixture up to a rolling boil. I'm not just talking about bubbles around the edge of the pot. I'm talking bubbles coming up all over the whole surface of the mixture. This is the most critical time. Pop a candy thermometer in and keep an eye on the temperature. You're aiming for the low end of softball stage, maybe even the highest end of the thread stage. I've found that it works a little bit better to aim for sort of a lower temperature because of carryover cooking. Carryover cooking is just the idea that a mixture will continue to raise in temperature even after it's no longer exposed to a heat source. So aim a little bit low and you won't have to worry about overcooking your no-bake cookie mixture. As soon as you hit that temperature, immediately remove the pot from the heat and stir in the peanut butter, oats, and salt. You want to work really quickly here because the mixture does start to set up almost immediately. I use a 1.5 tablespoon scoop to portion my no-bake cookies out onto a parchment-lined baking sheet. They should be fully set up after about 20 to 30 minutes. your cookies still haven't set up after 20, 30 minutes, maybe even an hour, you might want to scrape them back into the pot and cook them a little bit longer. Or you can try just leaving them sit out overnight uncovered. Sometimes that's all it needs is a little bit of extra time and some airflow around them. I've got lots more information on how to make no-bake cookies on my website, bakingthemoment.com. There's a link within the comments, so be sure to click over and read all the information there. Hopefully this clears up any uncertainty that you may have with making no-bake cookies and inspires you to try the recipe. These are a delicious no-bake treat with tons of incredible flavor and the most wonderful soft texture. I really hope you'll give it a try. If you like cooking or baking, or just like looking at recipe videos, be sure to check out some of the other videos I have here on the Baking the Moment channel, and give this video a like and hit subscribe so you can be notified every time I come out with something new. Enjoy!